Hey everyone. This week we're going to talk about expanding our game, really making it longer and has multiple parts to it, and adding rooms and really making it like a final version of a game that we would want to publish and share with other people so that they can play it. So this week we're going to look a little bit more at what you should think about when you're making your final version of your game. So if you look up here in the square diagram here, you notice we have the colors here. So this is the game that we've built so far. So it's right in the middle. And it's only a little portion of this square. We have all of the space. So we actually have a lot of room to make like a pretty long game if we want to. So when if you're making a final version of your game, you could start in the middle, like here, and just kind of like continue down here if you want to add more levels to it. Or you could start your first level right down here and just kind of like go along this way, hop up to the second one, go this way, and kind of keep going on like that. Or you could start at the very top and kind of like go build your game that way. And you could fill this whole thing with the game if you want. That'd be a very long game, but if you want to make one, you definitely do that. But it's perfectly fine to just start in the middle too. So that's something to think about. So when you make your final game, think about where you want to start and how long you want the game to be and how many rows it's going to be. And I'm going to show an example of how you might move from one row to the next. So we have this grid, and if you notice, we're right here at the end of our little land area. If I go to our square and I bring the character down to the square right underneath it, and then go back to the building area, notice where we just were is right up here. So we're in the square right underneath. So I'm just gonna add some green down at the very bottom here. And some of you have already done this, so you're ahead of the game. You're doing a really good job with that. So now let's go back here. Now what we just did is we made some land at the very bottom of the next row, which is perfect. And then if you want to just keep adding to it, you've probably already seen that you can just drag the character over and then just kind of continue on over here. So the way that the character gets from one level to the next is kind of up to you. They could be, if they're going up, maybe there's some stairs and they can kind of go to the next level. We talked a couple weeks ago about maybe like they get to the next level by getting a jetpack and they can go to the next level that way. This one is just going to drop down. So say we get to the end of this level, just kind of jump down, and now we're at the next one. Now we can go in this direction. So that's a pretty easy way to just transition from one part of the game to the next. You can kind of keep doing that if you want. So that's something to keep in mind as you're making your final version and how you want the flow of the game to be. So right now I'm going to give a little sneak preview of a game that Stallone, who's in our class, has been working on really hard over the past few weeks. And it's looking really awesome. Really had a lot of fun playing it. So take a look. So cool. So hopefully that gives you some inspiration as you start to put together your game for the during the last couple of weeks. So you have this week and next week. So I figured we could spend these last 2 weeks really making our final game. So it could be a game that you already been working on and you just want to continue with that one, or you might make a new version of what you've been working on. But start to think about the story that you want to tell and the game that you're gonna publish to share with other people. So kind of like what we saw in Stallone's game, start to think about what the world is, what it looks like, why your character is going where they're going, what challenges they're facing, what enemies and dangers they're encountering, and what their mission is. What's the point of the game? Why is the player trying to get through all these obstacles? So start to think about that kind of question, and I think that'll help you to think of how you want your game to go. And we're going to be working on that this week and next week, and hopefully by the end of next week we'll have some really awesome games that we can publish and start to share with our friends and everybody else. So hopefully you have fun kind of making your final game, and of course reach out if you need any help, and I can't wait to see what you make.